We are back, everybody, on a non-solo episode today. Seems like for the first time in forever, we have Selena here.
Hello.
An infrequent guest, but one we're glad to have. We are going to be talking today about real estate, why people can't afford to buy homes these days, what that means for the United States, and then in the end, we're going to get into a little pop culture stuff, maybe a little Taylor Swift. So let's talk first about real estate. Tell me why you think the median home buyer age now is 38 years old, the highest it's ever been. That was recorded in 2024. How come people can't get married at 26, buy a house, and have kids before they're 30?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. It's the price of everything and also the amount of income they're making per cost.
Right. Yeah, how much a house, I'm trying to think of the correct term for that. How much a house costs compared to the median income, right?
Right. I also think if you think about getting married at 26, buying a house and then having kids, like putting all that, bunch that up, you'll be in debt before you know it. Buying a house now and having kids, everything is just way more expensive.
Most people can't afford one or the other, a wedding or a house, let alone both, right?
Right.
And ironically, if you are married, your income, or I should say your net worth, is much higher. And actually, I just saw a great chart. The biggest driver of that is actually married men. Married women, single women, and single men all have similar incomes, but married men are way above the rest of them, which I thought was kind of unique. And I'm not 100% sure why that is. I haven't had a lot of time to think of it. It's obviously a lot more correlation than causation. I don't think that getting married just causes you to make more money. Maybe that's part of it, but I think it's more likely that men that make a lot of money find it easier to get married, which should make sense. But my advice to young people is that if you're trying to get married and save up for a house and you're really struggling, elope, right?
Yeah.
Just get married, but cheap out on the wedding, right? I mean, you can always renew your vows in 5 years or something and have a big ceremony when you have more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think the marriage, everyone is not really getting married nowadays anyway. So I do feel like maybe that it's a little skewed, because I do think that people are leaning more towards that spiritual route, and marriage is not that it's looked down upon, but it's also like they're not going to fall for they're not going to fall for like the trap of getting married because the government says get married type of thing. Like it's more of a, because you said I have to, I'm not going to. So I do think
it's a little rebellious thing.
Yeah, I do think that has some to do with the marriage, because I know a lot of people who aren't married and they live together and they have a house together, but they're not married and they don't see an importance in it either.
Yeah, and that's a long time trend. As people get less and less religious, they don't feel the need to get married, right? Because in the 50s, it used to be for religious reasons, you didn't live together until you were married. Otherwise, you'd be living in sin. You'd be looked down upon by your community and the church. So as people have trended away from religion, we've seen a trend away from marriage. So get this, Jamie just pulled this statistic up for us.
Who's Jamie?
That's my joke. When I pull something up, we pretend like we have a producer here named Jamie, like we're on Joe Rogan. So
heck?
Yeah, I know that's Arthur and I's joke. We like to keep that running here. So the median age in 1950, of a married man was 22 years old. A married woman, 20 years old.
Well, you fell into that 22-year-old. You were 22 years old when you got married, so
yeah, but
good for you.
I also didn't live in the 1950s. The median age now, 30 years old for a man.
I think that we brought down the median by
Yeah,
maybe
just
a few years.
single-handedly. No shit. The N is so small now that we probably did. But yeah, so 10 years, or I should say 8 years in parity is the difference there. And just a couple generations.
I do think that, I mean, back then you kind of had to become a man when you were like 16, 17. So by the time you were 22, you were rocking and rolling. You were doing your thing. You were...
That's a good point.
Essentially the man of the house, depending where your dad was, where their parents were. You were kind of set off to go do your own thing. Like I think about my parents, where they lived and the responsibility that's put on them. It's, you're at an age where now you're bringing the income and mom and dad stay home and you take care of us. So I do think that there's difference in responsibility. Now you're like at 30 years old, it's like, now I have a job. I'm finishing up college because it kind of took me a long time. People take a little bit longer to find their role in society, I think. And there's not that much pressure. I mean, obviously, parents help a lot. And I think there's...
Having two parents in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the majority now of households are one-parent households. So kids that grew up in a one-parent household are less likely to get married earlier and see the value in marriage, 100%. And I think your point of maturing earlier is a good one, too, because you got to think in 1950, 22-year-olds, I mean, the generation just before those folks, they were storming the beaches of Normandy when they were 17. So
yeah,
you come home, you're ready to get married and have kids, you know?
Yeah, your life flashed before your eyes. You better start producing some kids and have a wife at home, continue your legacy. So I imagine that's
what people in the 50s at least saw from the generation above them. And their parents, you know, could have been in World War I when they were 17 years old. So I think that's a good point, that people were expected to have their life figured out a lot earlier.
And I think women too. I mean, you were being married at 15 or 16 and having to become that woman. And, you know, when you get your menstrual cycle, that was kind of the point where you're set off and go find a husband and you're going to go be the woman of their house and you're going to start having kids. So I think that... At
least in other countries more. That's true.
The society norms were way different. Now it's like, what do they call them when you move back into your parents' house?
Boomerang child.
Boomerang child. Yeah. The basement. You live in the basement. You know, I think that it's way more common to hear about that. And society is like, yeah, I mean, everything's so expensive, coming back around to how expensive things are. I think our parents were able to buy a house for way cheap. And so they have essentially extra cash, quote unquote, because they're not paying thousands of dollars on a mortgage or in debt because of the schooling and stuff like that. So they feel okay with their children coming back.
I think the comparison is something like even as recently as the 90s, you could buy a house for like 3 times your annual income. Now it's like 6 times your annual income.
Yeah, and that's just for like difference. A nice house, where I hate a fixer-upper. I don't want a fixer-upper. I don't want to do that. But that's, in order to buy a house that we can afford, it's essentially we have to buy a fixer-upper. We cannot buy a house where it's move-in ready, the yard's nice size. That is like $500,000 just to get not a fixer-upper, maybe not the, you know, upgraded to be modern and stuff, but just for a basic house. That's how much it cost.
Yeah, it's completely unaffordable for the vast majority of people in their 20s and early 30s. And as interest rates have gone up, we're only seeing that more and more. So the problem is, I would like to say when interest rates go down, things will get better, but that's not necessarily
That's
true.
been like the last...
Yeah, prices last
5 years.
You're right. Before COVID, when interest rates were low, prices were sky high still. So I would really encourage people, if you're on the cusp of buying a house now and you're just trying to wait for interest rates to go down or something, don't do it. Buy the house now. You date the rate anyways. You can always refinance later. Buy the house. You know, get into it. Even if
I also think look into what the government has, the programs that they have, the first time buyers, the little, like, I don't want to call them loopholes, but there's ways to get support in the down payment, first time buyer, and all that stuff. I think people think that you have to have a certain amount, but there's a lot of help. For as crappy as it is, I mean, I think it could be better in the sense of if everything's way more expensive, increase the support, especially if the government's kind of creating this. But I would encourage everyone to also speak to like their lenders. I think finding great lenders super helpful. Finding a real estate agent that's really helpful, and just look for those programs. So I think that makes such a difference.
That's a good point. Read a book. Read a book about housing. Any book. It doesn't even matter. Pick a book about buying a house and read it. It doesn't even have to be a great book. It could be something like Nothing Down for the 2000s. It could be something like, this isn't just about housing, but you could buy Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's a ton of financial books out there. Just read one. It doesn't matter. Pick one, read it.
It's like really those people on like Instagram, TikTok. You don't know this about real estate, but you can save blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the 10-second version. Read a book. Get off TikTok and read a book.
Yeah. I love TikTok, though.
I know.
I learned a lot on TikTok, I will say.
Some people's algorithms are good, I've heard. I don't have a TikTok, but...
Mine, I have like random little facts burst in there and funny videos.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The other thing's build up your credit score, right? Don't be an idiot. Have good credit.
Get a credit card, and that doesn't mean a Boot Barn credit card or a Victoria's Secret credit card. Get an actual credit card. The credit limit is like $500. Start building it up.
Just buy gas with it.
You know what? I will say, everyone who says just put your gas on the credit card, that is so unrealistic. Because once you have the credit card,
for women it is. It's not unrealistic for me.
Don't start talking like that.
I did that for years.
Do not start.
Why is it unrealistic?
I'm saying that there's like things where it's like, oh, let me just get my credit card for this. Let me do my credit card for that. And I don't just say it's a women thing, because don't go down that path with me.
All right, at least for me, I did it for years.
Okay, well, you're not everybody. That's your experience.
My fantastic experience. Do that. Just buy gas on your credit card. If you're young, you don't have a credit card, do it. Some people think too, you got to go like take out a big loan or buy something big on credit to build your credit up. You do not have to do that.
And pay it off.
Credit card's fine.
Each month.
Yeah, you don't pay the interest. Some people too. I've heard this from kids. Okay, this tells you
kids.
They don't. Yeah.
How old are these kids?
17-year-olds, high schoolers. They don't teach them anything in high school anymore.
They didn't teach us anything either.
People out there right now honestly think that when you use a credit card, you pay the interest on it from the second you make the purchase. That is not true. If you purchase something, on the second day of the month, and then you have it paid off by the last day of the month, you pay 0 interest on your credit card. Okay. All you're doing is building your credit score. It costs you nothing. As long as you pay the credit card off every month, you do not have to pay any interest. That's
why we say don't get carried away with the credit card purchases, because you want to be able to pay off what you owe. It's not free money. It's not free money. Wouldn't that be great, though?
It'll cost you.
Yeah.
By the time you are ready to buy a house, the goal is to have your credit score 780 or 800.
That's actually a good point, too, though. A lot of people our age don't have great credit scores to buy a house.
Which is 27, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they're like so far in debt for credit cards from buying, just keeping up this image of nice bags, nice cars, nice this, nice that, and now they're in debt. It's
right.
Just pay. Why are you living beyond your means at such a young age? Like, imagine being in debt when you're 24, 23.
Yeah, that's a good point. All the friends I know that have the most money drive the shittiest cars. It's probably something to live by right there.
I was going to say, they also don't shower, so.
Oh, man.
Standards are a little bit lower.
It's good, though. I drive a shitty truck.
Not me.
Yeah, I know you don't. The sacrifices we all make, right? Let's see.
I sacrificed a lot.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure to drive around in a Tesla at 27. What else about housing? Let's see. Do people need to know? Let's see. I'm looking at some. We got a couple questions here before the episode from people.
Oh, is Jamie pulling those up?
No, I had these up.
Wow.
Jamie was not pulling these up. So let me ask you this. First question. Okay. Your first property you purchased. Tell me about it.
My first property I purchased.
Yep.
Well, my husband purchased a property.
Okay.
And so then it's...
As he should.
As he should. That was prior to us getting married.
Okay.
So it was like maybe a couple months before we got married. So then, boom, already started off with an asset, which I loved when we got married. But the property is really good. My husband got a really good deal on it, off the market. Great interest rate right before the interest rates really went back up. It was kind of like a Hail Mary, I feel like, a little bit. But yeah, now it's...
Do you live there?
No.
What do you do with it?
I rent it out.
Okay.
How many? 4 units.
4 units. Okay.
Covered parking. You know, one thing that I do love about that building is that it has in-unit washer and dryer, dishwasher, which was great. It was a great property, really great property. And
so he bought it as a primary residence, which you can do under an FHA loan
for a fourplex.
For a fourplex, and then rented out the other units to pay the mortgage.
Yep.
Wow. Smart guy.
Yeah,
okay.
I bet.
So other people can do that too. They can take out what's called an FHA loan for their primary residence, live in one unit, rent out the rest, and that helps pay the mortgage.
How old were we again? We were 22.
Yeah. So you can
22.
do that. And if you do that 3 times, 4 times, you're going to be really rich.
Yeah. Okay, but it's really not realistic to say do that in 4 times, 3 times, 4 times.
Sure, it doesn't have to be every year, but by the time you're 40, you can do it 3 or 4 times. If something people are dedicated to, they can definitely do it. We're just talking about one way to get into real estate.
Yeah.
One realistic way. And you don't even have to do that with multiple units. You could do that with a house and rent out the rooms.
Yeah. I also do think, though, it's about kind of the relationships you build with people you speak to. So, for example, the real estate agent, we built a relationship with her, and she's like, hey, we have this off the market, seller's really wanting to sell it. But because we had built that relationship with her, she was more inclined to tell us about it and kind of let us be the first ones to see it. And immediately we put in an offer. So I think those relationships and networking are really, really, really helpful. Even if you're just trying to buy your forever home, building those relationships with them and just checking in. If maybe in 2 years you're thinking of buying, start making those connections. I think that's been really helpful. And our lender was really great too. And
people think, they're sitting there listening to this thinking, well, I can't find a property off the market. How am I going to do that? You're never going to find a good off the market property sitting on your couch. Yeah. The only way you ever find good off-the-market properties is to go look at other places with realtors. Mm-hmm. And then they start coming to you with these other deals. Hey, look at this. I've got this off the market. This guy who's selling this property, you might not like this house, but he's got another one. Come check this out. You have to expand your surface area for luck. That's the way I describe it. People think, oh, man, that person just got lucky. They won the lottery. Well, you can't ever win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket, right? You got to get out there and give yourself at least a chance. Mm-hmm. And then you'd be surprised how often lucky things fall in your lap when you get out there. Mm-hmm. So that's one good way to get into real estate for people that are young. I recommend people buy a house so strongly. For the majority of Americans, it is the number one asset they will ever own. Mm-hmm. And we could do a whole nother podcast about how it should not be that way, about how essentially the older generations that have bought these houses have robbed the younger generations of their ability to build wealth. Because of what's happened to our currency and inflation. People that bought a house, in San Francisco for $30,000 in the 60s, then get to sell it for millions and millions of dollars without ever doing any work to it now. And they have all this wealth. That wealth didn't come from nowhere. There's a trade-off. Since somebody was able to make millions off a house they purchased 60 years ago, young people can't afford to buy property now. It's a big trade-off. Now, if we had the reverse, where people were able to buy a house for $30,000 in the 60s and sell it now and not make much money, okay, fine. They would have had to work. They would have to, have a pension. They'd have to have other ways to fund their retirement. But at least young people would be able to afford houses these days. So I do want to point out here that, yes, this is a system that's completely unsustainable. It's a system that should not work this way, but it does work this way. And you should get on the bandwagon and own a house, because that is the only way to really guarantee your independence, and it's not going to get any easier. Things are only going to get harder. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to hit on the real estate side?
No.
So we talked about the getting married young thing. We talked about how there's a single culture out there, how people are just dating for longer and longer. They're living at home. Again, people aren't buying houses because it's hard to buy a house on only one income these days. If you're going to buy a house, having two incomes really, really helps. So that brings us into the culture. I put forward that a lot of women are not interested in getting married young because they have a lot of cultural figures that promote that lifestyle. One of those being Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has made millions, probably over $1 billion, promoting this, single woman who doesn't need a man aura.
I don't think so. I would disagree with your take on that. I think that's a crazy
She's been married before?
No
she
one.
She doesn't make $1 billion off breakup songs?
They're not all breakup songs.
The majority.
Not true.
Has she ever made a song about being married and being happy?
Yes.
No. Love Story doesn't count.
Lover. I will not condone Taylor Swift shit talk.
So
she has great songs that aren't just about breakups. It's about falling in love. It's a storytelling.
Sure. It's about being single and
no, it's not.
All the things
she was in a relationship for 6 years.
How'd it go?
They broke up because that's what happens.
They weren't very committed to it. But I'm glad. But we're gonna meet at the same point now. I'm glad she's moved forward with her life, because now there were a lot of single women who listened to Taylor Swift. That was kind of her target audience, right? Taylor Swift's target audience wasn't young men. It wasn't married men. It wasn't even like middle-aged married women. It was young, unmarried women was the bulk of her audience, okay? But now she's getting married. This role model, okay, that all these young women had for staying single is now... I
don't think she promoted that.
She 100%...
No way.
You're thinking, what would you give me the archetype? What is your standard Taylor? If you could merge every Taylor Swift fan in the world, what would it be? What is the average Taylor Swift fan?
I would say a woman.
Okay.
Kind of dorky.
Okay.
Kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
I think that they are into like the storytelling and those like books of falling in love and falling out of love and doing all that stuff. I think that's what they're into.
How old?
I would say she has a really large demographic, but I do think that I think she has a big demographic of people who follow her and follow her music.
What would you say the average is? Do you know more 50-year-olds that listen to Taylor Swift?
I would say
or more
20s.
20-year-olds?
20s, like 25, 20.
Okay. So that falls into our unmarried range. So she's probably unmarried.
Who?
The average Taylor Swift fan. Probably not married.
Probably in a long-term relationship.
But not married.
Probably to a man who can't commit.
See, there we go. This is already the perfect Taylor Swift accusation. I love it.
I don't think that she promotes that. You know who does promote that? What's that girl that looked like she had a white face and like
Billie
red
Eilish?
hair? No.
Oh, Ariana Grande?
No.
You're killing me.
Okay, Ariana Grande is the worst.
Okay.
Don't let me get down that path, and you like her.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Let me continue with my point here. Okay. We agree Taylor Swift's standard fan is a young, unmarried woman. Okay. I would say probably even younger than mid-20s. I think there are a lot of like really young girls that really like Taylor Swift. Okay. So she decides that she's going to get, or I guess she doesn't decide. Travis, well, maybe she did decide. I don't know. Are there any good conspiracy theories around this? Did she finally like tell Travis Kelce that it's time to propose, or how did this work?
No. I don't want to go down the conspiracy.
Why?
Because I don't want to. I can't talk crap about Taylor Swift.
Why is it talking crap about it? Come on, don't be a stan. Let's hear the conspiracy. Throw it out there. You're here to give us the tea. Let's hear it. You're our expert in feminine pop culture. So.
Oh, wow. Because I'm the only woman you've ever had on here.
We have Malia.
Oh, okay. This girl, Chappelle Rowan.
Oh, my God. This podcast is not for talking about Chappelle Rowan.
She is the epitome. Not. She wrote songs about being a feminist and how you don't need no man. And then she went on the podcast, Call Her Daddy, and said, yeah, I have a boyfriend for the last 6 months. But I still think that you guys should be single, even though all her music is to be single and woman power and all this stuff. Meanwhile, she's like the opposite of what she's trying to promote. But again, because that's her brand. But that was really like horrible, actually, I will say.
Yeah, so Taylor Swift is the same thing.
No, she's not.
Okay, but we all agree. Everyone listening to this podcast hates Chappelle Rowan. We can all agree on that. So let's talk about Taylor Swift. Give me the conspiracy theories.
Okay, hold on. I really want to... I really want to read you this quote that she did.
Who?
Chappelle Rowan.
Oh, we hate Chappelle. Look, we already hate Chappelle Rowan. You don't need to convince us. For those of
but that to
good
me,
people that don't know who Chappelle Rowan is, isn't she like kind of like a cross-dressing tranny? That
No, don't talk about people like that.
Well, some people are cross-dressing trannies.
Derek,
I don't
please
know
stop. Derek.
I don't know why people do that either. Don't look at me. That's not me.
Yeah, she said she was in a serious committed relationship and was very in love.
Good for her.
Pro single stance. Okay, despite being in a serious relationship, she still identified as pro single, encouraging everyone to be comfortable and confident being on their own, which I do love. But I think also it's not like she's promoting be confident and love yourself first. It's like, fuck men, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, are you allowed to curse on this podcast?
Yeah, it's an evil take, really. If you really think about what that means, it is. It's an evil take because you're either pushing one of two things. You're pushing for there to be no more kids because, I mean, you're not producing kids if you're not getting married, or you're producing kids to be born out of wedlock.
Maybe that can be a different topic we talk about.
Well, let's talk about it.
No. Whereas we can't be jumping around the culture. That we can save that for people. Have to tune in for that next time.
Oh, if they want to talk about that, or if we want to talk about that later, we can bring a whole separate episode. But I'm going with the systemic you should be single forever stance is fundamentally anti-human, and you shouldn't have it. So that's not a good thing. But now let's go. Let's talk about Taylor Swift.
What did you want to know?
You told me you had some juicy conspiracy theory that wasn't even fit for the airwaves.
No, I'm just saying that I don't want to be a part of the hate train. I think
it's not a hate train. We don't hate on Taylor Swift. We think this is a great step.
No, but it sounds like you're being condescending a little bit.
To Taylor Swift? Well, she's a billionaire, so that's okay.
I know, but I don't like being mean.
That's okay. You don't have to. I'll be mean about it.
No, I don't want to.
You're going to just leave us hanging here?
It's that Travis Kelce was, Taylor was about to leave him, so he proposed.
And she said yes?
Yeah, I guess.
This is a terrible conspiracy theory.
No, it's because it goes by deeper, and it's just... I do think, though, that I will say, I think that she is still not over her ex, Joe. Joe
Mama?
Yeah, good one.
Who's Joe?
Joe, her ex.
Who? Joe who?
The guy she was with for 6 years.
I'm you need to explain this for the people. No one really gives a shit about Taylor Swift, so we need some help here.
Taylor Swift was dating this guy named Joe, who was a British guy, or London. He lived in London. He was like a bare minimum actor. Was not that great. Was not in that many movies, but she was with him for 6 years, and they recently broke up at the start of her tour, and then she started dating Maddie Healy, don't know that guy. She also dated... she dated this other guy. And then she got with Travis Kelce. So all like really, really quickly.
Okay.
So what everyone is saying that she's kind of like rebounding, and she was kind of getting cold feet about the relationship and was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. And then so what he did was made this like grand gesture to like pull her back in and kind of be like, no, but you love me, right? You love me. And so she said, yeah, because they were just, and then she just was like, oh, it's just cold feet.
I can't believe that you were afraid to say this. I thought you were going to tell us like she killed JFK or something.
No, it was like, you just have to be in
I'm joking, obviously. Taylor Swift's way too young to have killed JFK.
I know, but you just have to be in the know. It's like really brain rot stuff.
Well, is she going to take her private jet down the aisle?
Oh, did you see that meme?
Yeah, that meme's hilarious.
You know what? I think that it's so... People who like hate on all these famous people, and I get it, it's because they're like pro climate change, but
pro climate change,
whatever. But I'm saying people, whatever. People are so like, I cannot believe they're doing this. I cannot believe they would waste their money on this. If you had that amount of money, you'd be doing dumb stuff with that money too. So just let them live. They worked for it. It's their money.
But
you bitching about it is not going to make a difference.
It's not about the money. They're saying that she pretends to care about climate change and then drives a fucking private jet around.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that.
It's because she's a hypocrite. That's
optics.
Yeah, it's terrible optics because she's a hypocrite and she doesn't really believe it. And I guarantee, too, she probably owns a house on the beach.
Oh, she does, Rhode Island.
Yeah, so if she really believed in climate change, she'd sell that house.
That they're trying to pass a Rhode Island law where if you don't live there full time, you have to pay heck of taxes on it. And
I'm not surprised.
They're saying that Taylor Swift's trying to fight it.
I'm not surprised. There are a lot of states that are trying to do that. California's trying to do it. New York's trying to do it.
Famous people are just like us, trying to get away from taxes.
Yeah. Now that's something that people can agree with. But
yeah.
So here's where I want your take. So Taylor Swift, she's getting married, okay, to Travis Kelce. A normal guy, just your run-of-the-mill average guy. Taylor Swift, run-of-the-mill average lady. Travis Kelce, run-of-the-mill average guy. Do all the girls that look up to Taylor Swift now, are they going to be encouraged to get married? Just like her, just like their idol.
I do think that they are more likely to look for that like love story and stuff like that. I don't know that they're going to get married because
Pardon the pun.
Huh?
Pardon the pun.
What?
You said look for their love story.
Yeah. But I think that it obviously is... I think that women are likely to be like, oh, like I want to find somebody like that. I want to fall in love. I want to have this and I want to have the same thing. I still see everyone on TikTok right now actually being like, oh, I'm engaged at the same time Taylor Swift's engaged. We're playing the same time. So there's like a feeling of being connected. Mm-hmm. So I do see your point in that of like she is creating this, making it cool again, maybe.
Right. No, it's exactly what I mean.
But I don't think it's because she was saying don't get married, because she's always been like, I want to find someone to marry. She's always said that from the beginning of wanting to find someone she spends forever with. And I think that's a lot of her stories is like, I want to fall in love. I want to have that for myself. So I do think that maybe now she is creating it where it's like Taylor Swift can do it after 12 albums. She's able to find her happily ever after. So
yeah, I think my point's not that she's Chappelle Rowan saying men are trash and you should just, be on your own explicitly. I'm saying that's her archetype. That's what she's represented to people. And she may not explicitly say it, but that's who she is, or who at least she used to be. Now she's engaged, she's gonna be getting married. Second conspiracy. Is this all a setup for the greatest breakup album of all time?
No, I don't know. I feel like she has so many great breakups. I really love the Tortured Poets Department.
That's an album?
Uh-huh. That came out after she broke up with Joe. And they have really sad songs in there. So I don't think that she's looking to create another best album. I think, so she's coming out with her 12th album. I think, and it would be so smart of her to have 13 is her favorite number. She's into numerology. If she has the
like
last... Derek.
She's into numerology. Can you explain to the people what that means?
87 plus 13. 87 is number Kelsey. 13 is her favorite number, equals 100%.
Can you just explain to us what numerology is?
I don't know what numerology is. She's just into it. Okay. It's like where it's like...
Jamie, will you find what numerology means for us real quick so we can...
My God. Anyway, what was I saying?
Okay, so numerology. Jamie, can you zoom in a little bit?
Oh my God.
Numerology is the belief in the occult, divine, or mystical relationship between a number and one or more coinciding events. Mm-hmm. It's also the study of the numerical value of the letters and the words and names. Okay, I gotcha. So like, number 2 corresponding with the letter B. Okay. So she's a crazy person. Okay, go ahead.
So it's her 12th album. The next year it'll be her, and then she'll have a 13th album. I think that'll be when she's like, okay, stepping away at her 13th album. She's getting older, and then it'd be much more like cooler if she like stepped away, had kids, had a family. I just saw a video clip of Travis Kelce saying he feels young and he's ready to. It's the last season in his contract, but he's feeling young. So I do think that maybe they're going to stretch out their engagement and having kids for like a year or 2 years, so that she finishes out the number 13th album.
And this is the last question for you. What are the odds this marriage never takes place?
Honestly, I do feel a little like kind of high, but I also feel like for the optics, they're going to go through with it, and they are going to, maybe it won't be like legal, but I do think that I think that they feel like they're committed to, what is that? Committed to the plot.
Oh, commit to the bit. They're just laying it all on the line for the, okay. Because
they have so many people invested in them. And it is like, I think that the NFL is invested in them one way or the other. Yep. Her fans are invested in them. People who've never watched them together, they're bringing people together. So I do feel bad for them that they have that much pressure and stuff. Because I think any relationship, any marriage is really hard when there's outsiders. So I think that because they're in the public eye, that doesn't take away from their relationship that they have. So
it would be the greatest thing ever for her brand for this wedding to be called off the day before it happens.
No way.
It would be the biggest event ever.
I think her wedding would be the biggest event.
You think so?
Yeah, and
Going
then
through with it,
no. Getting married, live your happily ever after for a couple 5 years. 5 years, you divorce.
No.
Yes, you go on hiatus, you divorce, then boom, album.
But
that's your comeback album, talking about stating it all.
But then you're the divorce. I mean, she'd essentially be Kanye West. I mean, just like
why
a divorced has-been.
No way.
No.
Kanye's literally psychotic.
Well, yeah, but
Taylor Swift is not.
Taylor Swift believes in numerology, so whatever.
You believe in weird stuff too, so don't even get me started. Anyway, I do wish Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce the best. I think everyone deserves to find their happiness and get married and live that fairy tale. So I am excited for them.
You're right.
And I can't wait to see their wedding.
The NFL has a huge stake in this working out. I think that Taylor Swift has a huge stake. Do you think she's in Brazil? In this not working out. Oh, absolutely. She's in Brazil.
You saw it?
Yeah.
You saw her?
Yeah, in my numerology mind's eye. Yeah, I remote viewed her in Brazil. If
Taylor Swift ever listens to this, I'm rooting for you.
You can root for her, but it's in her interest to not do this. Her brand. No, it's not. Could you imagine?
This is her brand, is to have heartbreak after heartbreak and finally find the love of your life and get married. No,
because then it's over. Then the gravy train's over.
No, but then people love to follow her story of she was so young when she started the Spotlight. She's been through all these songs of talking about heartbreak, and now it's like she's going to write stories about her kids and her life and building that forever. I think that it's going to be really cool. I think a lot of people are going to see.
Have you ever heard a good song about
what I think? Kids? I think she's going to write a song for like her son, and then everyone and their mom is going to be dancing to that song on when their son gets married. That's what's going to happen. Or their daughter. And then their father and daughter dance. She's going to be singing it to them.
If she, just leaves him on their wedding day.
She's not going to do that.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. The wedding day happens. All eyes are there. She walks down the aisle. Okay? She's standing there. Taylor, do you take Travis Kelce to be your lovely wedded husband? I can't. Runs down the aisle crying. It's the biggest spectacle the world has ever seen. She trends for weeks. Listen, it's my hypothetical. Let me finish. She's already got the album halfway done because this is planned. Okay. She disappears out of the public eye 3 months. Okay. She's out of the country. She's on an island. She claims she writes the whole album there out of nowhere. No hype, no advertising, nothing. After all this, 87 days after their wedding day. Numerology. She drops the album.
That's not even 3 months after.
It's roughly 3 months. Yeah. 3 months is 90 days. Okay, 87 days. Okay. She drops the album. 13 songs. Okay. Mm-hmm. The album is it would top Thriller. Okay. It would be the biggest selling album the world has ever seen.
No way.
Yeah. Who wouldn't listen to it?
Because I think
I would listen to it. I don't even like Taylor Swift.
No, you wouldn't. She wouldn't do that because she wants that for herself. And I think she'd feel way more embarrassed to do that than to just go through
just make $1 billion. I could be embarrassed.
I think she can make $1 billion with just being married with Travis Kelce and doing like Vogue, doing all this other shit. Like it doesn't really make a difference for her.
But then, hear me out. She drops the album. She hates him. A year goes by. They make up again.
Oh my God.
They make up again.
Are you done?
They have the wedding for real. Yeah, I'm done. That's it.
Okay.
If she wants to get rich,
So
that's what
bottom
she'll
line, Derek is rooting for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
do. I am. I think it's better for
Okay.
America they get married. They're better role models that
Okay.
way. I really do hope they get married, have kids. People look up to that and do the same thing.
Perfect.
I'm in. I'm here for it. But if she wants to get rich,
Oh my
she'll listen to me.
gosh.
All right, we're wrapping it up there. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.